up strong and scores. Hayes, a three, bullseye.
Well, here in Boise, Gordy Presnell emphasized this current 5-game streak will serve as a telltale sign of where this Broncos team is at. Following a gritty W, the Broncos look to keep that momentum going against a Wyoming team looking to climb even further in the upper echelon of the Mountain West standings. As we welcome you courtside inside ExtraMile Arena, everyone, alongside the former standout in the Sun Belt, Breland Blanding, I'm Ben Creighton. And Breland, Gordy Presnell also emphasized they needed that hump win, and they certainly got it back on Thursday night against Air Force. And considering that this is a Boise State team who has really struggled to close out games, that win could really be big for their growth.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great win against Air Force. They shot over 50% from the field in the second half after having 18 turnovers in that first half. They out-rebounded them 13-4 in that fourth quarter, which was really the telltale for Boise State.
Yeah, we flash back to 36 hours ago, and that fourth quarter was absolutely huge for Boise State. The Broncos locked down defensively late, and they really took care of the basketball.
Yeah, and big ups to Trista Hull and Anna Osley. They came up huge off the bench in that fourth quarter. Trista had 6 rebounds of her 7 in that quarter, and Anna Osley had 7 points with a huge 3 and some clutch free throws down the stretch.
Yeah, 7 of her 9 coming in those final 10 minutes in that win over Air Force. But this afternoon, they'll go up against a Wyoming squad who are looking to win their first game here in ExtraMile Arena for quite a while. They've lost 5 straight here in the Idaho capital city.
Yeah, and they are led by Allison Furtick, who had 15 points and 12 rebounds in her last contest against Utah State. She's a big, strong post, a great scorer around the basket. As you can see here, she does a great job at establishing position, taking her time reading the defense and making a good move. So it's going to be a hard test for Boise State to try to contain her and keep her off the boards.
Yeah, during the offseason, she also worked on her outside game as well, so she's even more dangerous on the offensive end for this Cowgirl squad. They'll definitely need her to be big again today after a huge second half against Utah State. Boise State, Wyoming, starting lineups and opening tip coming up on the other side. Back here inside ExtraMile Arena, getting ready between Boise State and Wyoming. Both teams coming off of W's back on Thursday night. The Broncos getting that win over Air Force. The Cowgirls on the road getting the W over the Utah State Aggies. Breland Blanding, Ben Creighton on hand, courtside as starting lineups being introduced here inside ExtraMile Arena. And for Boise State, like we mentioned, Gordy Presnell kind of wanting that hump win, and they definitely got it back on Thursday night against Air Force, a team that has kind of struggled to close out games. A lot of young talent on this Boise State squad, and you can see it. They're continuing to grow, especially when you look at a bunch of these freshmen that they have here in Boise. And especially with some of the veterans as well. You saw right there, Elodie Lalonde with 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists in that win over Air Force. As we'll get ready to roll for tip-off. As we take a look at these starting lineups between these two squads. First for Boise State, like we mentioned, Elodie Lalonde, always huge down low, same with Abby Muse, who needs a couple more rebounds to achieve a milestone. We'll talk more about that coming up later. Maya Hansen, Danny Bays, Mary Kay Narrow. And for Wyoming, a big absence in the lineup this afternoon. No Quinn Weideman for the Cowgirls, who went down in the second half of that win on Thursday night against Utah State. While trying to take a charge, suffered a head injury. She is out of the lineup, their leading scorer out. So we already highlighted her in the open, Allison Furtig. She's going to have to be even more big this afternoon, and she really responded after Wyman went down, had 11.7 boards in that second half to get the win over the Aggies on the road. Our officials this afternoon, Shelly Nascone, Billy Buck, Taylor Mink, as we're underway as the Cowgirls get the opening tip. Here's Tommy Olson getting things going for the Cowgirls. Driving baseline, Peterson taking it right to the rack, and Muse getting the rebound. And for Boise State, you know, Gordy Presnell told us yesterday they're going to try to establish that low game very, very early in this matchup.
Yeah, establishing that would be great to start the game off strong. That's something that they've been lacking, is having their first quarters kind of be in their Achilles heel. And as you can see, Maya Hansen knocks down a 3 on the first possession. I mean, that's perfectly probably drawn up by a first play for Gordy Presnell.
Yeah, again, talk about some of these freshmen here with this Boise State squad. Maya Hansen being one of them. already a Mountain West Freshman of the Week honor. One of a few already on this Broncos squad this season. A lot of young talent, a very bright future here in the Idaho capital city as Fertig goes to work against Lalott, throws it up with the left, and a big presence down low. Lalott alters that shot. Now when knocked out of bounds, it'll remain with Boise State, intended for Danny Bays.
That was good transition defense there off of the block shot. Getting back, Boise State tried to get a little bit of an easy layup, and that was a good deflection on defense. Yeah,
you see Quinn Weideman right there again, out this afternoon, suffering that head injury in the second half against Utah State. Hit her head on the hardwood. Definitely scary to watch. Bays turns the corner, the give and go, back to Muse, a beautiful find, lays it in with the left.
That was a perfectly executed pick and roll. I mean, that was a great screen by Abby Muse, and there was 2 Cowgirl defenders on the dribbler, and she dished it off for the easy layup.
Tommy Olson, who's been a mainstay with this Wyoming squad. They try to go down low again, and Boise State, you got to give them a lot of credit. They have really dominated down low in the paint so far, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, that one kind of looked like a double team that was there early. She still tried to pass it as the double team was coming, and was a little off and was able to get the tie up there.
Yeah, we know what Elodie Lalott has been able to do here in Boise, and a good stretch as of late over the last 4. Hansen. And Wyoming still looking for their first bucket. That one off the mark from Grace Ellis. And the Broncos pushing. As Hansen will set up the offense to the corner. Right back to Hansen. Hansen, high off the glass. Can't get that one to drop. And hauled in by Ellis. Barnes passes on the triple, back out to Olson. 3 ball on the way. Offensive rebound by Fertig, and we talk so much about this Boise State squad as Fertig goes up and lays it in. You know, these are 2 solid rebounding programs. We know Boise State #1 in the Mountain West in rebounding, but this Wyoming squad 3rd in the conference in rebounding margin, out-rebounding their opponents by almost 5 a contest. Nice find of Muse as she draws the foul. Nice feed from Lalott.
Yeah, those 2, Abby Muse and Ellie Lalott, look for each other a lot in this Boise State offense. And as you can see, she was cutting to the basket. Good eyes, good look as the double team was coming and was able to draw that foul. But as you mentioned earlier about Wyoming and their rebounding, it starts with Allison Fertig getting so deep in that paint on her post-ups that when the shot goes up, she's already there. So if you don't try to push her out, the ball kind of just falls in her hands.
Yeah, big presence down low at 6'4". As Muse calmly knocks down 2. 7-2 early lead for Boise State. Lob down low to Fertig again.
That was a good recognition of the mismatch there. She had Danny Bays on her. It's a little shorter, was able to toss it over for the lob, and the help was late, which allowed her to get that easy layup.
Yeah, 6'4" going on 5'11". Kind of hard to slow her down when you kind of have that mismatch as Lalott powering her way in the paint, throws it up the right. Back down to Fertig. And we'll get a foul on the entry pass.
It looks like Boise State is trying to front her down there in the post, which is allowing that lob to be there. So if the help isn't there on time, she's going to get that layup every time.
First foul on Lalott. Ula Ustowska as well as Emily Mellema come in for the first time here for Wyoming. Skip pass, open 3 on the way and drills it. Alina Peterson from downtown, the 2-time Mountain West Freshman of the Week this season. Ties it up at 7 early on.
Yeah, she's a great shooter. She's going to knock that down every time if you leave her open.
And this has been a problem for Boise State, a turnover and a wide open lane all the way to the cup. Peterson, 2 straight buckets to give the Cowgirls the lead.
Yeah, that's something that Boise State struggles with, those live ball turnovers, and they're converted to a wide open layup.
And Lalott gets whacked on the other end. Yeah, for Boise State, it's been a struggle in that department. Throughout this season, 17 turnovers per contest.
But it's when you get those turnovers near the half-court line at the top of the key when those steals occur and then there's nobody to kind of run back and help in that transition defense.
And you saw the numbers there for Abby Muse. I mean, just a humongous force down there. Obviously, first in the Big Sky in blocks per contest at just under 3. And, you know, talking to Gordy Presnell in our call with him yesterday, I asked him, you know, what makes her so strong down low and so difficult for opposing offenses to get around in the paint. And he highlighted her athleticism. And you can just see it. Not only has the height, but she can quickly get around and block those shots.
Yeah, she's very mobile and she reads it very well. She has great timing, and as we mentioned earlier in other broadcasts, she does a great job of contesting those shots without fouling as well.
Peterson, baseline take. Fertig, the offensive board, goes back up. Can't get it to drop. And Muse able to rip it away and into the hands of Mary Kay Narrow. And Narrow had her pocket picked. Melima going the other way for Wyoming. And a beautiful feed to Peterson, and Melina Peterson with a strong start off the bench.
Yeah, that was textbook transition basketball off of the steal. Drive, attract the defense, and then dish it off for the easy catch and lay.
Peterson with 7 of Wyoming's 11 points early on. Muse can't get it to go with the left. Ellis back out to Fertig. Trying to lob it down low. Around the horn. Melima. Step back Jay. Nothing but net.
Yeah, that's one thing about the Wyoming offense is they're going to take their time. They're going to try to look for the shot that they want. And on that drive, she got cut off and made a good move and was able to knock down the wide open mid-range.
Cowgirls have gotten hot from the floor, 6 of their last 8.
Yeah, they've gotten hot. Boise State has went cold. They haven't scored in almost 4.5 minutes.
Melima mazing her way through the traffic. Offensive board goes back up. Grace Ellis cleans up the mess. And now a 15-9 lead. Backdoor cut, Narrow. And that's been a big thing I've noticed from this Boise State team over the last couple of games. They've had difficulty kind of having those bunnies go into the hoop.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one of the things that you kind of look back at the end of the game and you're like, man, I wish I could have that back.
A 6-0 run for Wyoming to take a 6-point lead. Here in Boise, Maya Hansen drilling that triple. Well, Boise State got out to a quick start, 5 unanswered, but since then it's been all Cowgirls taking advantage of a couple of Boise State turnovers. And the big thing here, when you look at this Wyoming team, already 10 points in the paint for the Cowgirls early on.
Yeah, they're definitely taking advantage of those turnovers as they are getting those steals in live play, making great moves, attacking in transition, and also some of these are off of just good offense, making some quick moves, making some mid-ranges, and then fighting for those offensive rebounds, second chance opportunities, and capitalizing off of those.
Yeah, again, we know that Boise State, the best rebounding team in the Mountain West, but right now, it's been all Wyoming, out-rebounding the Broncos 9-4 here in the first quarter. Anna Osley into the ball game now for Boise State. And you talked about it in the open. Talk about a big fourth quarter for her, scoring 7 of her 9 points in those final 10 minutes to help the Broncos get that win over Air Force and getting whacked in the face, Tatum Thompson.
Yeah, she definitely took an elbow to the face there as she tried to swing through with that ball. Definitely caught an elbow. They might take a look at that with contact to the face as the assistant coaches for Boise State, Heather Sower, is like, review, review. And it does look like they are going to take a look at this and maybe upgrade this.
Yeah, interim head coach Ryan Larson not happy with that call, wanting an explanation. Yeah, like you said, they are going to go to the monitor.
One thing about it is if you do get that incidental contact to the face, it has to be a part of that step through, like body turn, like as a whole. You can't just swing the arms and not moving anything else. Let's take another look at it here. It does look like it might have just been a hand swing over. It's kind of close.
Trying to just clear some space. As you look at Gordy Presnell, his 18th season here in Boise, and I mean, we've heard it his entire tenure here, a tremendous tenure here at Boise, the most wins in Boise State program history, 6 NCAA tournament appearances, 4 Mountain West regular season titles, 6 tournament titles. Obviously has been huge with this Boise State program. And we talked about it just a second ago, Ryan Larson right now, the interim head coach for the Wyoming Cowgirls, as head coach Heather Ezell in her first season taking a leave of absence right now. Step away from the team back in December. But again, talking about Gordy Presnell, I mean, you can just see the impact he's had here with this program. I mean, amount of success, but the big thing too, you had all those runs to the NCAA tournament, winning the Mountain West tournament, and all those years, a couple of years back, and kind of a rebuilding phase right now as you look at some of these players. But you look at these freshmen, like with Maya Hansen and Danny Bays, you got some talent here in Boise, and the future is definitely bright for Gordy Presnell's squad.
Oh, definitely. And also Tatum Thompson, who missed the whole entire preseason, but has came back for conference play. And she's the one who actually got elbowed here that they're reviewing, but she's also a good spark, super athletic. They definitely put a lot of faith into her and think that she can also help turn this program around as well.
Yeah, the only team in the conference, Boise State, to have 3 different freshmen earn the recognition of Mountain West Freshman of the Week this season. That just shows you the talent, the young talent they have here at ExtraMile Arena.
Yeah, and you can also see the complete rebuild here, that they have no seniors currently playing. They did have Mandy Simpson, who medically retired, but other than that, it's a bunch of freshmen, and you have the one junior here or there, but other than that, it's definitely a complete rebuild from the freshman route, trying to grow these players and get them going here.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at this graphic, 5 Freshman of the Week awards total among these freshmen here with Boise State. Obviously, Maya Hansen has won one, Danny Bays. I mean, just tremendous talent right here in Boise, and something that... So it is going to be a common foul, by the way, as our officials came over to give us the ruling. So play on.
Yeah, those calls are always tricky. You definitely do want to take a look just when a player does get hit with contact to the face, and sometimes it's accidental, it's not on purpose. And in the case, that's what the referees decided here.
Overall, Boise State looking for a spark offensively. They've missed their last 6 field goals and haven't scored in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, they've had a couple of missed quick shots. You had a missed hook by Abby Muse, and then a missed layup by Mary Kay Nero off of a good pass from Abby Muse. Actually, that was a great pass off the back door. A little thread in the needle there.
There's Hansen getting the screen. Trista Hull also into the game for Boise State. Drilling that triple, Natalie Pasco.
Yeah, what a great shot to end the drought there. And she's very capable of getting hot and knocking down some threes. So if I was Wyoming, I'd make sure I keep an eye on her and make sure that she doesn't get going here.
7 points in the win against Air Force, and has been huge off the bench. Has led the Broncos in scoring 4 times while coming off the bench every single game as Wyoming answers inside.
Yeah, what a great move by Marta Savage there. I mean, she caught it, took her time, made a great move, and finished.
Tatum Thompson can't connect from deep. Offensive rebound by Hull, trying to go back up. Loose ball, and the long rebound control by the Broncos. And a foul on the entry pass.
Yeah, it's something we talked about earlier, Boise State trying to establish that post play early. As you can see, Trista Hull is in the painted area trying to get good position, and she does have that arm bar on Marta Savage and got called for that arm bar.
Thompson almost scraped the ceiling there trying to get that inbounds pass. Turning the corner. Hanson with the scoop, offensive board, Tatum Thompson. Pasco with a wide open lane to the rack and off the window.
Yeah, that was a great drive slashing from that corner there. And was able to get to that painted area with the late help from Wyoming.
And that's something that Natalie Pasco can do really well. She can really create off the bounce. Like you saw right there, right-handed hook on the way, no good from Savic.
And it does help when you can knock down the three, because they play you a little closer and then you can make those drives.
This time Thompson trying to take it into the paint. Look for the back door. Under 10 on the timer. Maya Hanson with the crossover. At one, she's got to throw it up. Desperation heave. That one grazed the rim. Offensive rebound by Trista Hull and goes back up.
Not ideal, but I mean, she had to throw it up, was able to hit the rim, so good job with that. And Trista Hull there to get that second chance opportunity, that offensive rebound, and go up with it.
Long three on the way. Stutska leaves that one short. Tracked down and stripped. And it will remain with Wyoming. Trio of subs coming in for the Cowgirls.
And going back to that buzzer beater there, well, the shot to help with the shot clock there, Trista Hull knowing that they do have to get a shot up, so being in position for that rebound, because you know that she has to shoot it. It's going to be a shot clock violation if she doesn't.
But also just great awareness to realize that the ball did hit the rim. It barely grazed the rim and got that offensive board and just went back up, because it kind of did look like Wyoming might have thought it was a shot clock violation as Peterson launches for three and rattles it in with the shot clock expiring. And Peterson with a hot start already in double figures for Wyoming with 10.
Yeah, she's shooting very good from the field. 4 for 6 for the game. 2 for 2 from three, so she hasn't missed yet.
Shot clock turned off at 6. Osley. Thompson, baseline, desperation heave as that will come up short. A strong start by Boise State, but it'll be Wyoming going into the second quarter with a 4-point lead. Natalie Pasco with that triple. 4-point game here in Boise. Offense on display through the first quarter as Wyoming takes a 20-16 lead over Boise State heading into the second. Here inside ExtraMile Arena, Ben Crate, Breland blending. And, you know, looking at these stats, obviously, Melina Peterson, obviously, with a tremendous start with 10 points, 4 of 6 from the floor, 2 of 2 from downtown. She's been solid so far for the Cowgirls.
Oh, yeah, she's been doing a great job, and it helps with the team totals as well because they're shooting 50% from the field at 9 for 18, so they're not really missing much, but good offensive execution.
And the Cowgirls shooting 50%, Boise State at 31%. Speaking of Peterson, has the rock right now. Shot clock winding down. And nothing but air right there, barely grazed the net.
Oh, and then they caught a foul on Trista Hull on the rebound. Yeah, and she definitely read that air ball pretty well. Looked like her foot might have been on the line on the catch, but ends up being a foul on Trista Hull for the push.
And pushing the other way. And a strong take inside by Tatum Thompson.
Yeah, that was a great anticipation steal there. And what an athletic transition basket. I mean, she jumped, moved it around a couple of times, and was able to finish with a hand in her face.
Thompson with her first bucket this afternoon. Left wide open down low and throws it away. Back to the Broncos.
I don't think she realized how open she was. It was kind of like a post-up screen there when, as Boise State was fronting the post, when she drove, it was an incidental screen. And as you can see here, that athletic finish from Tatum Thompson on that steal.
Wide open down low, Trista Hull.
Yeah, she had great position down there. The pass was a little closer to the baseline than she probably intended on having it, but was able to catch it, and with the defender on her back, went up strong and drew that foul.
Another one of these Broncos who has earned a Mountain West Freshman of the Week honor as she knocks down the first. Going back to last season. Tess Barnes back into the game for Wyoming. So a plethora of Broncos on this squad who have won Freshman of the Week honors not only this season but last season. And we had a foul away from the ball.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be on Natalie Pasco as she's trying to front in the post there.
Off the inbounds, Ellis. And almost taken away by Thompson. Ellis left open from deep and gets that one to drop.
Yeah, Wyoming did a great job of taking advantage of that anticipation by Tatum Thompson. It allowed Boise State to kind of be out of sync on defense and resulted in that wide open three.
Both teams shooting at a good clip from downtown so far, 50% for Wyoming, 2 of 3 for Boise State as the Broncos turn it over. Up ahead, back to Ellis. Verdig on the block, powering her way, can't get it to fall. And pushing the other way, Mary Carnero. Hole, and she lost it out of bounds. Turnover number 4 on the Broncos.
Yeah, so back-to-back turnovers from Boise State. As you can see, she tried to hit Trista Hull as she was cutting, and a little reach in there and was able to get that deflection and out on Trista Hull.
Elodie a lot back in for Boise State, and and that's a big thing that Gordy Presnell was telling us yesterday. Those first 5 or so minutes of the second quarters this season have caused Boise State a little bit of trouble this season. They've had solid first quarters, but they really struggle in those first 5 minutes. That's a big point of emphasis, is trying to improve and not get themselves in a hole late in the first half.
Yeah, and it starts with taking care of the ball and just doing what you know you need to do on the offensive end. You have those plays designed, and it's all about execution.
Mosley with the foul. Grace Ellis will get herself to the stripe.
Again, another mismatch there in the post, and Wyoming is doing a great job of taking advantage.
Yeah, 12 points in the paint already for Wyoming in this matchup. Grace Ellis obviously has hit some big free throws in her career with the Cowgirls. Had those clutch free throws in the Mountain West Conference Championship game for the Cowgirls' first tournament title in program history, which resulted in their second trip to the Big Dance. Mary Narrow drives baseline, had it blocked, gets it back, and tried to feed Tatum Thompson and ripped away by Grace Ellis. And the Cowgirls pushing once again. Ellis, the kick out to Tommy Olson. Olson wide open, Barnes for 3, puts it in. And a timeout called by Gordy Presnell as Wyoming opens up their largest lead of the afternoon. 28-20 Wyoming on an 8-0 run. An 8-0 run by Wyoming gives them a 28-20 lead, and the Cowgirls have done it with a 3 ball. Grace Ellis with that 3, and then Barnes knocking down that triple to give them an 8-point lead. And you and I were talking in the break, you're looking at this Wyoming team. They've done an excellent job of setting the pace and creating those mismatches against Boise State here in the first half. Yeah,
they do a great job of ball movement and moving the ball around and getting the shot that they want, as they have a team number 7 assists to Boise State's 2 assists. So as you can see, that stat shows you just how much they're moving that ball around and sharing it and getting a good shot.
Knocked out of bounds, deflected by Peterson. It will stay with Boise State. Yeah, it's been a 2+ minute scoring drought for the Broncos,
which has been fueled by turnovers, as You almost seen another one right there, but I think Boise State has had 3 offensive possessions that resulted in turnovers back to back to back.
At 4. Osley drives, throws it up, and corralled by Barnes.
Yeah, Boise State continuing to struggle on the offensive end. They're looking a little flustered. They just need to take some time, relax, have a little bit of poise with them, and try to work to get a good shot.
Barnes now on the offensive end. And now Wyoming with the shot clock under 10. Barnes already has a triple and's got another one. Tess Barnes from downtown once again, and it's now a double-digit lead for Wyoming.
Yeah, it was a late reaction on the screen there for Boise State, a late contest, and she was able to knock it down.
Lalade had it rejected by Fertig, and again, that's why she's one of the top post players in the Mountain West with that rejection.
Yeah, she did a great job at just standing her ground, walling up, keeping her hands straight up, not fouling, and looks like the ball just went right into her hands, and Elodie tried to reach back and grab it and was called for that foul.
Abby Muse back into the contest for Boise State. You want to talk about young talent. I mean, Allison Fertig, only a sophomore, so they get her for a couple more seasons. Was right on cue. Tried to feed it down low to her, but Boise State takes it away. Hansen pushing, finds Pasco. And she'll get 2 as she tumbles into the cheerleaders.
Yeah, that's something that we saw from Wyoming earlier in this game, but now we see it here from Boise State, getting the steal and pushing the pace, trying to get a wide open layup on the other end. But Wyoming did a good job at getting back on defense, but they were able to get that foul in the transition.
Yeah, good defense there by Trista Holt to deny that entry pass. And that ends that 11-0 run by Wyoming. 2 for 2 for Pasco. Peterson around the horn, takes it inside. The only cowgirl in double figures this afternoon, and adds on to that total with the hook down low, now with 12.
Yeah, had a good amount of up and unders there, trying to get the defense off her feet, and was able to do a quick turnaround and get that little floater in the lane.
Narrow trying to answer, offensive foul.
Yeah, it looked like Trista Hull was kind of confused on whether she was setting a screen or not there, kind of got caught, and they call her for a moving screen.
That'll be another Boise State turnover, number 5. And both teams even in that category right now. Barnes, left wide open in the corner. Ustruska, offensive rebound. Barnes had it rejected. Fertig. Boy, a couple opportunities there by Wyoming, not able to put it in. And again, a foul away from the ball.
Yeah, Trista Hull trying to establish that painted area there, trying to get that, what we talked about earlier, trying to establish that post play. She's trying to get down there in the post, and they're giving her that arm bar, and they're calling that today.
Thompson and Heckman into the ball game for Boise State, and Grace Ellis comes back in for the Cowgirls. Even scoring throughout this one so far for Boise State. As right now Pascal leads the way with 7. Maya Hansen from downtown. And she's now 2 for 2 from deep today.
Yeah, that's one thing that she can do, is knock down that 3, and that was a good read there. Saw that the defender was playing off of her a little bit and let it fly.
Yeah, that's what she can do extremely well. That catch and shoot. Full display right there. Ellis on the block, faces the double team, trying to zip it to Fertig. And Wyoming turns it over.
Yep.
Danny Mays will come back in.
Boise State's doing a good job trying to contain down there in the post. She was open, just a little bit behind her. Tried to spin backwards towards the middle, so the other way of where her player was, but a little behind her there, and now it's time for Boise State to take their time on offense here and get a good shot.
Thompson had that look in her eye. She thought about throwing it up, instead back to Hansen. Hansen off the Muse screen. The lob down low to Muse. Beautiful find from Tatum Thompson.
Yeah, Abby Muse had great position, pushed her up the lane a little bit, and like you mentioned, a great pass from Tatum Thompson, and Abby Muse finish.
Muse now at 6. Fertig double team, takes the contact. We'll get 2. Again, some good play. Both the Broncos and the Cowgirls post players so far. A couple subs coming in, and again, I know we already harped so much on Allison Fertig, but she has been outstanding. Tied the Mountain West freshman record last season for single game rebounds with 18, and she did that on 2 occasions. And again, she has really upped her offensive game during the offseason, really worked on her mid-range game, and now she's even more of a dangerous threat offensively for the Cowgirls and to the rest of the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah, at the end of the season, it's always a great thing to evaluate exactly what you did well, what you need to work on, and it looks like she did exactly what she was supposed to do and did her homework and put in the work, got in the gym, and made sure that this year she was going to do the same, if not better, than how she performed last year.
Right now with 5 points for Wyoming. Over 2.5 to play here in the second quarter. Heckman will fire from deep and connects.
Yeah, Boise State having a good quarter on threes. They're now 4 for 5 from the three-point line, getting hot in that area, and something that they desperately need right now at this point.
Yeah, both teams have been stroking it from three-point land. You mentioned 4 for 5. Wyoming shooting at 56%. Offensive foul will go the other way.
Yeah, they're going to call her for that. She was in that painted area, and it's always confusing when the guard is driving right at you. You don't know what to do, so sometimes you just kind of stand there, do a little bit of a screen, and it does look like she put her hands out and was trying to shield the defender.
Yeah, she was also moving as well.
Yeah.
Broncos have hit their last 3 field goals. Heckman already has a triple. This time elects to take it inside, throws it up. And Tommy Olson coming down with the board. Well, Wyoming's needed offense here with Quinn Weideman out for this afternoon, and they've got it so far, with Peterson leading the way with 12. Olson trapped underneath the bucket. We'll get a whistle and a 3-second violation.
Yeah, Wyoming starting to struggle on offense with a couple of turnovers back-to-back, but you can expect them to turn that around and figure it out. And like you mentioned earlier, without Weideman, you definitely have to find other ways to get the ball in the hoop.
Heckman off the handoff from 16, had it blocked, and she'll get 2 at the line. But yeah, you look at Wyoming, no field goals in the last 3.5 minutes. I got to ask you, Boise State defensively, what have you noticed from the Broncos on the defensive end the last couple minutes?
They've been doing a good job rotating. It looks like they're communicating with each other more, as Wyoming does set a lot of screens, and you do have to talk through those. You have to say, are you switching, are you staying, screen here, screen there, right, left, and Boise State's doing a good job of that, and they're also doing a good job of just being there and being present and walling up and contesting their shots as they should, forcing turnovers as well.
Quick rest for Allison Fertig, who already checks back into the ballgame. Heckman, an 83% foul shooter. And short on the second of 2. Largest lead of the game so far earlier in the second quarter. 11 by Wyoming, and Boise State has been able to cut it to 3. Into the post again, Ellis.
Yeah, you had a 6-foot Ellis there. With a mismatch, had Maya Hansen on her, and she just took advantage.
Tatum Thompson falls away, can't get the bounce. Furtick the handoff to Peterson. Ellis left open for three, off the heel. And into the hands of Danny Bays.
Yeah, that was a good look there. She's already made one today, but just couldn't get that to fall. But nice drive and kick out for the wide open three.
Off the screen, Bays trying to turn the corner. Muse lowers that shoulder and goes off the glass.
Yeah, that's something she does so well, catching it at that elbow area. Does a quick jab step, one dribble in stride, and made a contested layup.
Shot clock turned off. And Melima draws the foul. Now it'll be free throws for the sophomore.
Yeah, Maya Hansen tried to cut her off there. Didn't want her to go off the screen, but tried to read and defend her the other way, but got caught for that blocking foul.
15 points and a career-high 5 steals in the win against Utah State. She's reached double digits in 4 of the last 5 games. Hansen falls away, leaves it short at the horn. Again, strong offense between the Boise State Broncos and the Wyoming Cowgirls as we head into break here at ExtraMile Arena, Wyoming with a 5-point lead. Halftime coming up here from Boise. Well, bench production, I should say, has been absolutely huge for Boise State through the first 20 minutes. The bench has scored over half of their 33 points in the first and second quarters for the Broncos. I mean, your leading scorer right now, Abby Muse, of course, is a starter, but you've gotten great production out of Pasco as well as Heckman. I mean, they've been solid so far through the first half for Boise State.
Yeah, I mean, when you come off the bench, you have to be ready. You do get a little bit of a good look at how the game is going from sitting on the bench to start the game, and then you can come in and kind of know what to expect, and they've been capitalizing here. And as you can see, Tatum Thompson has done a great job of finishing her layups and also just anticipating and being a big body down there, even though they have these Wyoming girls who are always taller than them, all of them pretty much, honestly.
Yeah, Trista Hull also with a couple buckets as well for Boise State. But for Wyoming, I mean, it has been a tremendous start by Melina Peterson, leading the way with 12 points, 2 of 2 from downtown, 5 of 7 from the floor.
Yeah, she has a great percentage, as you mentioned, 5 for 7. She stepped up big here, and knowing that she has to with their starter Weideman out today, and they only have 6 bench points. So compared to Boise State's 17, you would think that there would be more bench points because they are missing a starter, so someone is filling in those shoes. But Peterson is doing a great job of adjusting to that, and she knows that she has to step up a little bit, and she's been doing just that.
Yeah, we know that Peterson is a solid starter, under 10 points per contest this season, but she, again, like you mentioned, filling in for Quinn Weideman, who is out this afternoon. She's been excellent through the first half. As we take a look at the first half stats between the Broncos and the Cowgirls, and it's been hot shooting for both these squads. I mean, you look at Wyoming, 50% from three-point land, 48% from the floor. For Boise State, still at a good clip, 4 of 5 from downtown. Hot shooting from downtown so far in this one.
Yeah, and another stat that stands out to me is Boise State shooting their free throws, 9 for 10. That has been something that head coach Gordy Presnell has been talking about, how they have to do a better job at knocking down those freebies, and especially looking back at last game when that's kind of how they won in the foul game, having to get fouled and then convert on those free throws at the end. And that's also a good thing for them to, first of all, be knocking down their threes as well, but knocking down free throws too.
Yeah, dead last in Mountain West, shooting 69% from the charity stripe this season, this Boise State squad. And one thing that also stands out to me, the rebounds. We know Boise State is the #1 rebounding team in the Mountain West, but the Cowgirls right now, they're controlling that rebounding margin, being aggressive down low.
Yeah, and I mean, Allison Furtick has 7 rebounds here in this first half. So she's been a big body that they have to keep off of the boards and try to maintain that. And another stat too is the 5 turnovers. That has been something that has been their Achilles heel this whole entire season, especially looking at last game when they had 18 of those in the first half. But to come out this game, be more focused and locked in, only having 5 turnovers here at half is definitely a step up.
Yeah, kind of carrying over from that second half on Thursday night where Boise State was tremendous at taking care of the basketball, which obviously was a big key to getting that win over Air Force.
Yeah, so good first half. Expect both teams to come out of here with a little bit of an adjustment, whether it's on the offensive end or defensive end. Wyoming's up by 5, and like I said, they're missing their starter Weideman, so we can expect to see Peterson and Allison Furtick kind of put this on their shoulders here.
A 5-point Wyoming lead here at the break. Much more coming up from Extra Mile Arena when we come back. Boise State looking to go 2-0 on this 3-game homestand. Right now trailing 38-33 over Wyoming as we look at the rest of the schedule for the Broncos. Like we mentioned, a 3-game homestand. They'll be back here Monday night taking on San Diego State. And, you know, talking to Gordy Presnell yesterday, he really emphasized these 5 games will be a telltale sign of where this team is at. You know, you're playing 3 teams who are up there in the conference standings. You're playing a couple other teams who may not be up there. But you got that win against Air Force. You're looking to take down a solid Wyoming team. I mean, he's exactly right. This is really going to show these next couple of games where this Boise State team, how young they are, where they are right now.
Yeah, I mean, when you get to play people kind of all over in the standings, when you get to play the 1 and 2 and then go down and play the 8 and the 9, it always does kind of tell you where you fall because you played the best and then you play people that you might be better than.
And then we take a look at the standings, or the schedule, I should say, for Wyoming. They'll be back home to welcome in San Jose State after wrapping this one up, and then right back on the road to take on Colorado State. They'll be home for 3 of their next 4. Obviously a favorable schedule in the next 2 weeks for the Cowgirls.
Yeah, they're definitely going to look to capitalize here and kind of push themselves higher up in the standings.
And like we mentioned, these standings, as we take a look, right here, UNLV still at the top, undefeated at 9-0, 19-2 overall. They'll be back here in Boise 2 weeks from now taking on the Broncos. And again, San Diego State also up there. They'll be here in just about 48 hours from now. That's going to be another big one here in Boise. But again, I'm emphasizing this as well as Gordy Presnell. These are going to be huge games to really show the growth of this young Boise State team.
Yeah, and then back-to-back with only 1 day in between for all 3 games. It's 3 and 5 days. It's definitely a lot on these freshmen here who are coming from playing high school ball. And, I mean, just the pace, the minutes, and especially the minutes that they've had to play, it's definitely going to be a good test to see where they are.
Again, looking to get a win this afternoon over a solid Wyoming squad who came in 6-3 in Mountain West play. Right now down by 5. As we start this 3rd quarter into the hands of Maya Hansen right now with 6 points, 2 of 8 from the floor, both field goals coming from downtown early on. Mary Kay Narrow, the tough pull-up off the heel, and Grace Ellis climbing the ladder to get that board. And if you're Boise State, you obviously don't want a repeat of those first couple of minutes in the 2nd quarter where you went cold and gave up that 11-0 run by the Cowboys. Olsen fires from deep, and an air ball out of bounds.
Yeah, and that's a great way to start right there by getting a stop on the defensive end, even though you had the ball first and didn't convert on offense. You have to come back, and it's both ways. So a good contest there, and now let's see if they can convert on the offensive end.
Wyoming now 5 of 11 from deep this afternoon. Hansen getting the screen from Muse. Hansen, she'll try a 3.
Man, 3 for 3 on the game from the 3-point line for her. Just realizing that the defense is playing off of her a little bit and just letting it fly.
Well, like you mentioned, all 3 of her field goals have come from beyond 3-point land. Overall, 3 of 9. If you're her, maybe just keep shooting it from beyond the arc.
Keep shooting threes.
Yeah, having that success. Why back away from it? Ellis with the shot clock at 7. And Boise State forcing the turnover. Muse running the floor. Muse takes the bump, and that one off the side of the backboard. A lob down low to Furtick. Furtick against the lot. And the Wyoming Cowgirl big plays it in.
Yeah, she received that pass, not necessarily where she wanted it, but was able to back down and get that layup. And Wyoming does a poor job of getting back on defense after a made basket. Boise State pushed the ball in transition and got a layup off of a Wyoming make.
Yeah, Bates just beat every single Wyoming Cowgirl down the floor to get that easy bucket. Now the third time this season that Maya Hansen has hit at least three-pointers in a game this season. And right on cue, gets the rebound. Here's Lalade, who's kind of had a quiet game so far, 2 points.
Yeah, she had that foul trouble early in that second quarter that made her have to come out of the game.
Yeah, Gordy Presnell not happy with that turnover as it gives it right back to the Cowgirls. Ellis drives baseline, swatted away by Muse, showing why she's one of the top blockers in all of college basketball. And she gets it on the lob, rebounds, and lays it in.
I mean, defense turns into offense here. She blocks that shot and full speed runs down the court and gets the layup. I mean, that's impressive. That just shows the hustle that she has in the fight and her will to want to win this basketball game.
All knotted up at 40. Fertig hands it off. Tough play trying to lay it in amongst the trees, but Fertig gets the board, goes back up, and will get 2.
Yeah, she hustled for that offensive rebound there and all that traffic. Taller than everyone else, but Ellie Lalade picks up her 3rd foul here. But as you can see, she just held it strong, went up strong, and now she's at the line for 2.
.77% foul shooter, Fertig. By the way, big thing right there, Abby Muse now passing assistant coach Heather Sower on the career rebounding list here at Boise State. Now with her 4th rebound tonight. Muse gives it to Bays. The kick out, Hansen, extra pass, Mary Kay Narrow for 3.
That was a good look there for Mary Kay. Good ball movement by Boise State. She wasn't able to knock it down, but those are the good shots and good possessions that you need on offense.
Well, meanwhile, defensively, Boise State has been outstanding. A scoring drought over the last 2 minutes for Wyoming, and you see part of the reason why right there as they were able to alter Tommy Olson's shot down low.
Yeah, Maya Hansen joining the block party. Was able to get her hands up and contest that shot. And as you can see, Heather Sower here had a great career for Boise State. I mean, she played here for 4 years when they were in the Big Sky Conference and helped lead them to their only Associated Press top 25 ranking in program history. So definitely some big shoes here for Boise State.
Well, it just shows the impact that Abby Muse has had on this program early on. Again, just a sophomore and already passing her on the all-time list, but Allison Fertig also impressive down low as she lays it in again, and Fertig now with 9 points today. Nine points and 8 boards. Offensive foul will go the other way. Gordy Presnell not happy with that call.
Yeah, that's the 4th on Ellie Lalade, so who knows how long she's going to sit here, but no, that's her 3rd actually. 3rd foul on her, so she's gonna go to the bench, try to preserve her, but hard for her to get going. Hard to get going when you have to keep going back to the bench in foul trouble.
Well, you saw it right there on the screen a second ago when she sat on the bench, definitely frustrated with her play so far this afternoon. She'll have to watch her teammates here in this 3rd quarter. And again, the defense strong here in this 3rd quarter by Boise State. As Wyoming is now one of their last 7 from the floor. Muse on the block. That one just won't fall.
Yeah, good move, rolled around the rim, just couldn't drop, but great patience and great move.
Wyoming again going around the horn. Mellema, lots of contact, count it, and one. Emily Mellema gets a chance for a three-point play.
Man, what a great drive here and finish for the and one.
4-point Wyoming lead. Timeout on the floor. Well, after a strong first half offensively by both teams, both Wyoming and Boise State have kind of cooled down in that regard here in the third quarter, but Emily Mellema with a chance for a three-point opportunity as she draws the and one to give Wyoming a 4-point lead. And you know, the sophomore out of Linden, Washington, and you know, Heather Ezel said that she's our point guard of the future, with this being Tommy Olson's final season with the Cowgirls, and her confidence has definitely grown a ton going back to the end of last season, and this Wyoming staff hopes that she can continue building on that, and you can definitely see it as of late. Finishes that three-point play and has been averaging double digits scoring-wise in 4 of the last 5.
Yeah, and I mean, when you have plays like that, it definitely can get your confidence going, and we have a Powell down here.
And bodies all over the floor.
Let's take a look here on the replay. It looks like Trista Hull got dragged down as she was trying to post up.
Second foul on Fertig. Yeah, for Mellema, going back to her, 47% shooting over the last 5. And she's been outstanding at the charity stripe. Coming into this one, 22 of 25 free throw shooting. And more bodies hit the deck. Osley, she gets fouled.
Yeah, they turn a broken play into some free throws there. I think Tatum Thompson and Anna Osley ran into each other on that inbounds play, but was able to cut and get that foul.
And again, the offense has kind of cooled off for both teams. Wyoming shooting 30% here in the third quarter. Boise State at 43, and not as many threes here in the first almost 6 minutes of this third quarter.
Yeah, and let's see if some free throws here can get Boise State going. They haven't scored in 3 minutes, and she gets a chance to end that here with 2 free throws. But sometimes all you need to see is the ball go through the hoop.
Honestly, a 77% foul shooter on the season. Had some huge free throws late just 2 nights ago. Here's Peterson, the leading scorer right now for Wyoming with 12. Dumps it down low, Savic. And Tatum Thompson reaching up to get that rebound.
Well, that was a great move there. Wasn't able to finish, but they did a good job at breaking Boise State's press and got the shot they wanted. She caught it, did a nice move, but just couldn't get it to fall.
And we've seen a couple of those tonight from both squads. You know, they've gotten good position down low, and they've kind of had wide open looks. They just can't convert. Osley back out, mid-range J on the way. Trista Hull. Battle for the loose ball, hauled in by Mary Canero. New shot clock, transition 3, or I should say step into a 3. Natalie Pasco drills that triple, and all knotted up at 45.
Yeah, it was a great kick out there on a second chance opportunity, and that's why getting those offensive rebounds is so important, because the defense is not in position yet, so you can kick out and get those wide open threes.
Trying to answer on the other end, and exactly what she does. Mellema from downtown.
Yeah, that's her first 3 of the game, and that puts her at 10 points, so add another double-figure game for her.
Yeah, double digits now, 5 of the last 6, battling for the board. Eventually corralled by Melina Peterson, and she draws the foul.
Yeah, you can see the fight here for those offensive rebounds. Boise State's doing a better job at trying to create those second chance opportunities because it's been working in their favor.
Again, the three-point shooting has been excellent for Boise State this afternoon. 6 of 9 from downtown. Peterson. Crossover by Melima. Stepped on the baseline. Turnover going back to the Broncos.
Yep, you can see here she was trying to take the long route, driving from the wing there, and definitely got her foot out of bounds there. That was a good call by the ref.
Backdoor pass to Pasco. Give and go. Thompson, nice feed. Can't get the bounce. But Thompson able to regroup, goes back up off the window. Tatum Thompson, another one of those freshmen who has impressed Gordy Presnell here in her first campaign here in Boise.
Yeah, and it's just about effort. I mean, your fight for wanting to get that rebound.
Savic. Olsen out of bounds, back to Boise State. Turnover number 11 for the Cowgirls.
With Boise State only having 7, so they've been doing a better job at taking care of the ball. But yeah, just drops it, bounces it, and kind of goes off her knee there, and she knows it. Frustrated with herself, and probably going to try to get it back here on the defensive end.
Boise State has not led since halfway through the first quarter. Thompson for 3, splash! Tatum Thompson from downtown. Again, a bright future here in Boise. Timeout, Wyoming, as the Broncos have their first lead since halfway through the first quarter. Timeout on the floor. Well, we know Tatum Thompson is a great playmaker when she gets the ball, and she has really shown that in the last couple of minutes. She scored the last 5 for Boise State, including one from downtown, to give the Broncos a 50-48 lead.
Yeah, I mean, she's having a great second half here. And I mean, that's just what she does. She hustles hard. She tries to go for every steal, every rebound that she can, and even was able to knock down a 3 here. But she's definitely a good spark off of the bench for Boise State, and they're feeding off of her momentum.
A couple nights ago, it was Anna Osley with a big performance in the second half, and right now they're getting it from Tatum Thompson here in the third quarter. Shot clock at 10 as we approach the minute to play here in the third. Again, around the arc, Tommy Olsen. Down low, feeds it to Ellis, lays it in. A nice, fine, great court vision there by Olsen to find her slashing to the hoop.
Yeah, and good patience by Wyoming. Even though the shot clock was winding down, they didn't look frazzled. They continued to run their play and was able to get a layup out of it.
Thompson, that time had it blocked on the way up. Able to regroup, but what do we always say in basketball? Follow your shot. She got it right back, and now she's going to add on to her total with a couple chances at the line.
I mean, just awareness there. She knows that her defender blocked that shot and runs and tries to get that rebound and goes up, gets fouled, and now she's at the line for 2.
By the way, her season high is 8 at New Mexico, so a free throw here will tie that. Now ties that season high. Boise State back with the lead. Olsen almost pulled the trigger. Fertig out of bounds. That's a big thing for Wyoming. As of late, they've kind of had a little bit of trouble in this game, trying to feed it down low to the post.
Yeah, Boise State has made a great adjustment at being closer to the person passing the ball so that you can put that pressure on them and not make it so easy to get that ball in the post area.
Thompson going to work, rattles it in. Tatum Thompson now with a season high and gives Boise State a 3-point lead. A big performance here in the last 10 minutes by Tatum Thompson. Boise State 53-50 as we head to the fourth here at ExtraMile Arena. We know Boise State likes to establish play down low, but it's been their three-point shooting in this one that has really elevated them to a three-point lead, 7 of 11 from downtown.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with good ball movement. They had 5 assists in that one quarter, and I mean, all these shots are kind of uncontested, just realizing that the defender is not as close as they should be, so just letting it fly and knocking it down.
Well, Gordy Presnell also said they needed to hit shots better from the outside, and well, he's definitely gotten that this afternoon, especially from Tatum Thompson. She's on a personal 8-0 run going into this fourth quarter. A 3-point Boise State lead, a new career high for Thompson with 10 points. Wyoming trying to find a way to get it down low, but Olsen rattles in that triple.
Yeah, that's her first points of the game, first 3 of the game for her. And I mean, she's been struggling here, playing good minutes, but she'll probably get going here with that 3, give her some confidence and momentum into this fourth quarter.
Lalott back on the floor. Osley from the corner 3. And Lalott scrapes the ceiling to get that board and goes back up off the window. And a quiet afternoon for Elodie Lalott, but a good bucket there to put Boise State back on top. And a foul on Wyoming.
Yeah, Boise State has picked it up on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensive. As you can see, Maya Hansen went for that steal there and then got pushed trying to corral that ball, but I mean, he had a good play on offense and then was able to get a stop on the defensive end, and just great momentum coming out of that timeout.
Yeah, the third quarter huge for Boise State. They outscored the Cowgirls 20-12 in those 10 minutes. Osley off the screen, up and under move, and she'll get to the line.
Yeah, that was a good drive. She had the defender on her back. She knew it, and when she drove here, as you can see, the defender was kind of riding her on her back and did a nice little scoop layup, tried to make it on the right side, and now she's at the free throw line for 2.
Now 3 for 3 from the stripe this afternoon.
I mean, Boise State, right now, they're 13 for 15 from the free throw line. I mean, what a great improvement there. As we mentioned earlier, bottom of the Mountain West in free throw percentage, and they're doing a great job at capitalizing on that today. Yeah,
69% from the charity stripe this season. Fertig left wide open and easily lays it in.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a defensive breakdown for Boise State, and good recognition and ball movement by Wyoming.
Fertig now into double figures, by the way, with 11. Muse. Oh, nice find to Mary Kay. Narrow can't get the bounce. Threaded the needle there. And Narrow gets called for the foul.
Yeah, that's the second chippy for Mary Kay Narrow that she's missed in this game. And I know she's thinking about it. And one thing about it, you got to go next play. If you miss it, you got more game to go. Still 8 minutes left, and you can always turn that around.
Olsen already with a 3 in this quarter, and she's been characterized the last couple seasons with Wyoming as being the Energizer Bunny. Trying to be that factor here in the fourth quarter as the shot clock again under 10. Peterson, who got out to that strong start. Olsen, that 3 way off the mark.
Yeah, a little bit of a forced shot there, but the shot clock was winding down and she knew she had to get it up, but good defense by Boise State.
Muse spins with the left, gets the roll. Muse the leading scorer now with 12.
Yeah, shooting 5 from the field. She's been doing a good job of recognizing the defense and making a good move.
Barnes got open for a triple. That one rattles in and out. 4-point lead for Boise State, their largest of the game back in the first quarter at 5. Hansen calling from the screen for Lalott. Hansen, the pull-up from 14, leaves it short. Peterson trying to blow past Bays. The kick out, Olsen swings it. Shot clock at 8. Baseline take, Peterson. Open three, knocks it down. Melina Peterson. Now 3 of 3 from downtown.
What great ball movement there by Wyoming. I mean, they moved it around the perimeter. It looks like everybody touched the ball during that possession, and it resulted in a wide open 3.
Osley from way downtown. Lalott, the offensive board. And a jump ball, possession arrow, keeping it with Boise State. And again, it's something we highlighted in the open between Boise State and Wyoming, talking about this Bronco squad. Looking for ways to close out games, looking to grow even more as a young group, especially with all these freshmen, and obviously great experience here, trying to get another strong W against a team that's in the upper echelon of the Mountain West standings right now.
Yeah, and you just have to capitalize on every possession and know that it's all important. On the offensive end, defensive end, trying to build back-to-back stops and also converting on the offensive end.
Peterson thought about the 3, passes on that. Olsen swings it. Ellis off the fake. Olsen, the step through move with the left. Off the window. Wyoming back on top, and she gets the steal again, characterized as the Energizer Bunny in years past, and getting it done this time with the dish. And we'll get another jump ball, this time staying with Wyoming.
Oh man, she had her there for the wide open layup, but threw it a little bit behind her, and Abby Muse was able to rotate and tie her up for that jump ball.
Olsen to inbound. Again, that difficulty of those entry passes by Wyoming, just not able to connect with Savic.
Yeah, the pressure there by Anna Osley, just making sure you're in her face, putting your hands up, moving around, and just not making that pass easy. As you can see there, it was a little off and ended up going out of bounds.
You see the graphic right there. I mean, that's huge for Boise State in this game. 32 bench points for the Broncos. And this time, Wyoming denying the entry passes. We'll stay with Boise State, but a lot of that success obviously coming from the play of Tatum Thompson. Pasco also with 10 for the Broncos.
And they're both shooting very well from the field, with Pasco being 3 of 4 for the game, and Tatum Thompson 4 for 9.
Lalott goes to work, faces the double team. And 0 points for the Broncos in the last 2.5 minutes. Peterson. Give and go. Wide open lane, can't capitalize. Offensive board cleaning up the mess. Marta Savic. And back to a 3-point game here in Boise. There's Danny Bays, and she throws it away. And for a team that has struggled taking care of the basketball this season, obviously you don't want those piling up. Late in this one as Wyoming on a 7-0 run.
Yeah, and this is definitely the time where you definitely want to make sure that you are taking care of the ball, as you only have 2 turnovers in this quarter, but these are the times where you do need to at least get a shot up to give yourself an opportunity to put some points on the board.
Olsen, 3 on the way. Barnes puts it in. Tess Barnes for 3, and it's now a 10-0 Wyoming run. Out to a 6-point lead with under 4 to play.
Yeah, and it was off of good execution in the offensive end, off of a turnover by Boise State, and just wide open 3, was able to take her time and knock it down.
Boise State desperately needing offense. That shot denied by Bays. Osley, rainbow 3. Overall, a 12-2 run by the Cowgirls over the last 5 minutes, and Boise State only one of their last 8, a 4-minute scoring drought. Hitting the deck, Muse. Gives it to Hansen. Hansen with a shake and bake, trying to get herself down low, and she draws the foul. Wyoming on a roll. 4 of their last 5 from the floor as they take a 6-point lead here in the fourth. Tess Barnes with a big triple. Well, a little deja vu for the Wyoming Cowgirls. They went on an 11-0 run back in the second, and now a 10-0 run over the last 3.5 minutes to put them back up by 6. The offense clicking for the Cowgirls here in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, and also involving a couple of made threes. They've went 3 for 5 in the quarter so far, and that's been a huge part of their 10-0 run, but just doing a good job of moving the ball around. And as we talked about with Boise State in closing basketball games, they have an opportunity to try to do that here, but it starts here on the offensive end and trying to put some points on the board.
Yeah, overall 53% from beyond the arc. Tatum Thompson, who had that huge third quarter, looking to give this Boise State offense a little bit of a jolt with 3 minutes to go. Mary Kay Narrow into the hands of Thompson. Shot clock at 8. Thompson, strong take, and she'll get 2.
Yeah, what a good, hard, solid drive there, and you can see she's definitely eager, and she's not afraid to go to the basket. As you can see, there's people there, there's help defense there, but she goes up strong, gets a shot up, and is fouled, and now she's at the line for 2. But just her hustle and her will to want to try to win this basketball game.
8 of her 10 points coming in that third period as she knocks down the first. Overall 4 of 9 from the floor. Former Miss Basketball in the state of Washington. Led Woodinville to the 4A state title and was the MVP of that tournament. So you know when she came here to Boise that Gordy Presnell was getting some talent here at ExtraMile Arena, and she's shown that here this afternoon. Back to a 4-point game. Peterson dancing around a couple of defenders, trying to maneuver her way to the cup and able to throw it up with the shot clock winding down. Peterson continuing to lead the way for the Cowgirls today with 17.
I mean, the level of difficulty on that layup there. I mean, the way she was able to keep her pivot foot, not travel, and scoop around and make that layup is impressive.
Burtick called for the foul. And you like to see that from Melina Peterson. Didn't play in her one season at Kansas State while rehabbing from a torn knee playing in the Danish League. And she said, you know, just having the experience of being at a high-level school and just watching that team gave her some advantage for now what she can do with this Wyoming Cowgirls squad. And you can see it right here. Again, 17 points leading the way for the Wyoming Cowgirls this afternoon as that first free throw off by Trista Hull.
I mean, yeah, and 3 for 3 from the three-point line, but just knowing that you don't have Weideman today and that you're going to need to find another spark on the offensive end, and she's been filling the void pretty well.
And Quinn Weideman out this afternoon after a head injury she suffered on Thursday night against Utah State. But the Cowgirls, the rest of the cast, have been doing extremely well, filling in without her. And a big example there, Allison Fertig lays it in. And now a 7-point Wyoming lead.
Yeah, Wyoming's doing a great job at recognizing that post down there, and she's getting hit with those lob passes and able to finish that layup.
Thompson can't connect from deep. And now for Boise State, no field goals in almost 6 minutes. Under 90 ticks left. Fertig, double team, throws it up. And Boise State desperately needing offense in a hurry. Heckman trying to go all the way high off the glass. Offensive board and a foul.
I mean, did she come flying in for that rebound there? That's the best thing you can do in a transition situation like that, is knowing that your teammate's going to have a contested layup there and just being prepared and ready to get that rebound.
It's really been a tale of 2 quarters between Boise State and Wyoming. The Broncos outscored the Cowgirls 20-12 in the third, and right now it's a 19-9 advantage for Wyoming. And Thompson misses both. Battle for the board. Wyoming using clock at 6. Melima in the lane, the lob, Fertig. Not able to beat the shot clock.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looked like she still had it in her hands at the end there, but Wyoming with the shot clock violation took off a whole 30 seconds from the clock there. Now Boise State down 7, only has 41 points to make it happen. 41 seconds to make it happen.
Yeah, down 7. Time running out for this Bronco squad. Pasco takes it in, won't get the roll. And that one corralled by Tess Barnes, who immediately throws it out of bounds. And Tommy Olson, as well as, looks like Tatum Thompson. No, Mary Kay Narrow just went plowing underneath the hoop. No, it wasn't Tatum Thompson. Timeout on the floor with 27.2 ticks left. And again, you just look at the offense for Wyoming. 4 of their last 5 for Boise State. No field goals in the last 7+ minutes. They have missed their last 9. They've only made 1 of their last 11. Defensively, what have you seen from Wyoming here in this 4th quarter?
I mean, they've just done a great job at flustering Boise State and making them go into rush shots or just contesting any shot that they get. And you're right there, 1 for 11 in their last couple of field goals, and they kind of went cold here in this 4th quarter. I mean, started out shooting great from the 3-point line as well, and they've went 0 for 4 from that in this quarter. So definitely probably look for them to try to get a 3 here right now, try to cut this lead, and then possibly foul and try to get the ball back.
Both teams will head back to the benches. Not sure if maybe the officials are going to take a look at the monitor, because again, Tatum Thompson and Tommy Olson just fell underneath the basket. Well, yep, that's exactly what they'll do. They'll go to the monitor again.
Yeah, it looked like Tatum Thompson was trying to anticipate that pass that went way over Tommy Olson's head there, and her momentum pushed her into the back of Tommy Olson. They both just stumbled forward and ended up both falling. I don't think it was much there, but anticipation and, you know, kind of just running into her a little bit.
Well, quick review there. Officials just had to look over at us and just say it's nothing. Play on.
Yeah, I think it was just incidental contact that resulted in both of them just falling to the floor.
Mary Kay Narrow finds Tatum Thompson. The shot clock turned off. And Boise State's got to fire it up for 3. That one halfway down from Trista Hull. And it will stay with Wyoming with 14.6 seconds left, and a timeout now called by Ryan Larson. Well, here's a big thing that you and I were talking with Gordy Presnell yesterday about. We mentioned so much the youth on this Boise State team. It's kind of the opposite for Wyoming. You know, this is a team that has been together for quite a while. A bunch of their playmakers have been with this Wyoming program for quite a while, and you're seeing the impact here. Again, Wyoming 6-3 in conference, Boise State 4-4. But talking about this Cowgirl squad, they know how to close out games. They know how to win just because of that experience that they've had.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just a bounce back from their 3rd quarter where they only had 12 points. They have 19 points here, and I mean, shooting great from the field. 8 for 12 at 66%, and then 3 for 5 from the 3-point line. So just taking their time. I mean, most of their shots are with under 10 seconds left in the shot clock. So you can see their poise and patience here. They don't panic and get frazzled when they get late shot clock situations. And I mean, just being efficient on offense and scoring here in this quarter.
Fertig gets the inbounds pass. And doesn't look like Boise State's going to foul, as that will do it. Wyoming with a big 4th quarter response, outscoring the Broncos 19-9 in the final 10 minutes, as Wyoming gets a 69-62 win over the Broncos to go to 7-3 in Mountain West play. Boise State drops to 4-5. As now the Broncos will face another tough test coming up Monday night when they welcome in San Diego State, I should say, here inside ExtraMile Arena. But again, it's a tale of 2 quarters. Boise State with that strong 3rd quarter. Wyoming with that experience bouncing back in the final 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they shot 2 for 14 in that quarter at 15%. making no threes, and also got out-rebounded in this game as well, 36-28, which is also uncharacteristic like for them. So just another game where they didn't really close out well, and it's kind of surprising considering the fact that they did close out well in their last game here, but something that you can build off of. And like you mentioned earlier with Gordy Presnell saying that this middle of the pack will kind of let them know where they are. This game kind of said a little bit more about that too.
We'll welcome in Abby Muse, who's going to put on the headset for us. And Abby finishing with 12 points in this game. And Abby, we'll start with this. Obviously, you moved up in the all-time career rebounding list, passing your coach Heather Sower. You know, what makes you such a great rebounder and such a presence down low, in your opinion?
First of all, I did not know that. I'm going to tell her that. That's funny. I don't know. I think it's just the will to and want to help my teammates. So if they're not having a good shooting night, I'm there to pick them up. So just doing whatever I can to help the team.
What can you say about your teammate Tatum Thompson? We know just her freshman year, but obviously she showed this afternoon a tremendous playmaker that she can be for your team.
Yeah, she's great. She was out the first half of the season with a foot injury, and we are definitely feeling her impact now that she's back, and she's done really, really well, especially as a freshman, and she's just a breath of fresh air with her presence on her.
Last thing I got before I'll toss it over to Breland. You know, obviously we know that you guys are a very young team, and you guys are continuing to grow. How have, in your opinion, your emphasis, or how would you evaluate your team's growth up to this point of the season?
Honestly, I know it seems up and down, and it is, but I see the growth every day. Even we talk about last year, like this game would have gotten away from us, you know, in the third quarter. It would have been, you know, we would have been down by more at this point. And games that we come back and won, we wouldn't have been able to, you know, grind that out and get through. So I see the growth in that aspect, just in the grind and the competitive aspects.
Yeah, and talk about growth. I mean, you have an opportunity to knock down the second place team in the Mountain West at San Diego State in 2 days, and you only have 1 day to prepare, and it's your third one in 5 days. So just talk about how you're going to try to make that adjustment and just, you know, come out and have a good game on Monday.
Yeah, we're really fired up for San Diego. We were just there about a week or two ago, so it's fresh. That loss is fresh. And just like today's game, we had a day in between, a day turnaround. So like I said, we're just going to grind it out, keep working. I know we're really excited for that game, so that'll be motivation in itself.
Abby, appreciate it. We'll let you go. We'll see you back here Monday night.
Thank you so much. See ya.
Well, that's going to do it here from ExtraMile Arena as Wyoming gets the 69-62 win over Boise State. For Breland Blanding and the rest of our terrific crew here in Boise, I'm Ben Creighton saying so long from ExtraMile Arena. We'll see you back here Monday night when the Broncos welcome in San Diego State. So long, everyone.